So learning competency. So for our quote of the day, prices play a crucial role in determining how much of each resources gets used, where and how the resulting products gets transferred to millions of people. Okay. Yet, this role is seldom understood by the public and is often disregarded entirely by politicians. So this one is by Thomas Sowell, way back in 2010. Let us define the market economy. Ito yung mga characteristics niya. First, you have private property. You have the freedom of choice as long as it is mandated by law. If you want to buy a t-shirt, it's all right. If you want to buy an electric fan, it's all right. Pero pag drugs na yung pinag-uusapan or other contraband, then it's not a good idea anymore. Of course, motive of self-interest. You're earning money for your own sake. Usually, hindi ka naman nagbibigay ng pera sa ibang tao. Then there is the competition between businesses. Of course, yung markets and prices. As you can see, the law of supply and demand is highlighted. And last but not the least is limited government involved. Hindi siya makikialam until such time na meron tayong problema. Let's see labor practices. Here's a tool po, no? You're watching. Then that's the time the government, whether the LGU or the national government, will step in. So this one is the planned versus the unplanned economy. So ito yung definition ng plan. Course of economic activities is decided by some central authority or government. So lahat ng mga activities mo is decided by the government. Whereas unplanned, they are fully dependent on the role of market forces. So limited government involvement. And then the right to produce. Wala talaga siyang bet, no? Producers are not free to produce. Only a certain authority decides the full variety of goods and services that people can consume. So again, yung government pa rin ang masusunod, yung central authority. Walang say ang producers. For the unplanned, producers are free to produce the highly demanded goods and services in order to maximize their profits. Kung ano man yung gusto mo i-produce, basta meron ka profit in the long run, it's all right. And aims, dito sila nakakatalo, social welfare versus self-interest. Kapakanan ng nakararami at pansariling interest. Yun yung contrast between the two. So if you will see the planned and unplanned, most people will assume that the planned economy will succeed over the unplanned. Kasi meron kang plano. That's why it's called plan. However, this one happened. The black swan. So what is a black swan? These are events that are highly improbable to happen, but will have severe consequences if it arises. As already given an example, of course, you guys know about iba na allowing. What if napangasawa ko si Ivan Alaw? Masyadong highly improbable for that scenario to happen. And yet, if it does happen, it will become a black swan event. It might rewrite the history. Isipin mo, ordinaryong nilalang ka lang. You're just an ordinary person who married someone who's very famous. Forget iba na allowing. Even someone who's rich. It's highly improbable, but when it does happen, the consequences are drastic. So this is what happened to the planned economy. No one expected that it will crumble. So you have here the picture of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which happened at around 1989 to 1990. Was it a black swan? Yes. But there are people who were saying that it was not. So magandang subject for debate if it is a black swan event. Okay. It might be considered a black swan because no one was expecting the planned economy to fail. Pero sabi nila, there are precedents for such events, such as the fall of the Berlin Wall to happen. And one of those was Solidarnosc. Solidarnosc happened doon lang sa tabi ng Germany, which is Poland. Napatumba nila yung gobyerno, and siguro, Berlin or Germany, East Germany for specifically, got the idea. Kasi nung time naman na yun na nangyari, there was no internet. People have to rely on outside sources such as the news or people from other countries visiting the East Germany. Because at that time, Germany was divided into East and West Germany. To Solidarnosc. But how did this Solidarnosc happen? Indirectly, some people will say, ito talaga ang pasimuno. The people power revolution, which happened in our country, the Philippine Islands, the Republic of the Philippines. But is it really the reason? Is EDSA People Power One the real reason for these such events, such as Solidarnosc and the fall of the Berlin Wall and eventually the fall of the Soviet Union, for the planned economy to crumble and be gone? Yun ba talaga? Is subject for debate. Next. The price system. It is a mechanism of allocating goods and services through the rise and fall of prices caused by interplay of supply and demand forces. So it happens because of supply and demand. So let's say one good example is during the Valentine's Day. Tumataas ang presyo ng bulaklak, especially the red roses. Why? Because the demand rises. No? And the supply is dwindling. Therefore, rose sellers would be forced to raise the price of roses. There were some jokes in Facebook na yung bulaklak during Valentine's Day is so expensive that you will rather give your kung sino ba yung nililigawan mo or your girlfriend or your wife na isang sakong bigas, isang kaban ng bigas rather than buying a bouquet of roses. Sorry. And price system performs two important and closely related functions, which are the following: price rationing and resource allocation. So, what is price rationing? No? Nandito na sa, hindi ko na siya naitago, no? It is an automatic mechanism by which the market system allocates goods and services to consumers, even when quantities demanded exceeds quantity supplied. The price will dictate the equilibrium quantity supplied and demanded, and the customers will buy based on their preference. A good example of price rationing is last year. No? There was shortage of alcohol and tissue paper and other items. So the DTI, what they did is that they set a limit para hindi mag-spike yung prices. That you only have to buy, let's say, two bottles of alcohol. Hindi ka pwede mag-impact. Cannot buy in bulk or in many quantities. Para lang to curb the problem of the supply and demand. The price will dictate the equilibrium quantity supplied and demanded, and the consumers will buy based on their preference. So of course, people will still prefer the cheaper items unless they have brand loyalty. Let's see, sa alcohol, there are people who will say, bahala na ako ng mas murang alcohol. But there are some consumers that will still buy on the brand of their preference. Let's say, gusto ko Pagoda Alcohol or Green Cross. Yun lang yung magiging outlier. So this is what happens on a price ratio. So here is demand. So yung supply na bawasan, supply curve shifts to the left. So pag nag-shift to the left, what will happen? A decrease in supply creates a shortage at original price. So this one is the original price. If it shifts to the left, tataas ang presyo ng bilihin. Quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied. And the price will begin to rise. Kasi konti na lang yung quantity. At bakit konti na lang yung quantity? Dahil ang supply mo, nag-shift to the left, tumataas ang supply. To lower the total supply, total supply is rationed to those who are willing and able to pay the higher price. So, ano mangyayari? Sino mag-adjust? It's the consumer. Are you going to buy it at a higher price, such as P1? Or hihintay mo na lang yung tamang panahon na bumalik doon sa P2 or P0, which is the original price. So, omped is absent. And there are two types of inflation. What are the two types? Demand pull and cost push. So let's start with the demand pull. Demand pull inflation is an inflation initiated by increase in aggregated demand. So you can see demand curve shifts to the right. So anong mangyayari? Again, tumaas ang demand, same as supply, the price will rise. On the other hand, for the cost push, it's the other way around. It is an inflation caused by an increase in costs. So, tumaas ang costing. Still have the same demand, but the supply curve shifts to the left. And ano mangyayari mga Ginoo? Ganun pa rin. same scenario, the price will rise. Correct. So the bottom line, demand pull inflation occurs when consumers have greater disposable income. Having more money to spend allows people to want more products and services. So what is disposable income? Let's say si Mr. Vargas. No? Last year, he was earning 15,000 pesos per month. Malinis na, no? Let's say malinis na. Wala na yung mga tax, wala na yung deduction. Take-home pay is 15,000. And then the next year, Mr. Vargas gets promoted, naging 20,000 is salary per month. So he has more what you call disposable income. No? Siguro last year, si Mr. Vargas is only eating at Jollibee or sa canteen. Now that he got promoted, meron na siyang option na kumain sa on a more high-end spectrum. Siguro pwede siyang kumain sa mas mamahaling restaurant like 200 per dish, 300 per dish. So it allows people to want more products and services. Of course, pag tumaas ang sweldo mo or lumaki ang earnings mo, you want to buy better items or higher quality. So examples of which are expansionary fiscal and monetary policies. So nagkaroon ng tax cuts and increasing expenditure. Of course, the growing economy is one of the best examples of demand pull inflation. And then another is consumer expectation of future price increases. Minsan tayo yung nag-a-assume na tataas yung presyo. Which happens most of the time. Increase in exports. So, mas marami yung binibili nating dumadami yung mga pinaparating natin sa ibang bansa. Let's say, bananas. We're supplying more bananas in other countries. Also, marketing or branding can also increase the demand. Minsan kasi wala namang demand, pero marketers can find ways to increase the demand. Let's say yung ring light. Wala naman demand nung last year, 2019. Usually, ang gumagamit yan yung mga YouTuber or influencer, but now, ultimo tayo mga ordinaryong nilalang. I'm using a ring light. Some of you might be using a ring light. Cost push, on the other hand, happens when supply decreases, creating a shortage. Producers raise prices to meet the increasing demand for their goods and services. So, kailan naman nangyayari yan? Balikan natin si ABM 2 sa manufacturing. Prices increase from production. Tumaas ang kuryente, tumaas ang labor cost, tumaas ang utilities, tumaas ang fixed cost. You have to pass it to the consumer. Kaya tumataas ang presyo. Monopoly pricing. Let's say si Meralco. Meralco has monopoly of the electricity here in Metro Manila and other surrounding provinces. So, wala makakapagpigil kay Meralco kung gusto niya magtaas ng presyo. Natural disasters, no? Like floods, earthquakes, disasters, calamities. Of course, the price of items, lalo na yung mga commodities, they will rise. I have a friend, his family are business people. Mga negosyante sa Leyte during the time of Yolanda. Pinamigay na lang nila yung mga bilihin nila. Yung mga pagkain, bigas, asin, yung mga natira. Why? Because wala nang pera yung mga tao eh. Binaha ang Leyte ng Yolanda. They do not have money. Tinangay lahat to loot. So kaysa manakawan sila, sirain pa yung tindahan, pinamigay na lang nila. Rates often decrease supply via demand. So minsan, pag tumaas ang peso or bumaba ang peso, nahihirapan tayo bumili ng mga items because the power of your currency decreases. So it is much more harder for you to purchase goods. Nawawalan ng kapangyarihan nyo sa lapi mo. First year of the trade law, we are at the walking inflation. Prices rise 3 to 10% a year. Pero now, ito talaga yung ideal, which is the creeping or mild inflation. So dito tayo. Dito Pilipinas, usually. Or dito. No? It depends on the scenario. Wala akong updated inflation rates sa Philippines for now. So let's just assume that it's halfway between creeping and walking inflation. Hyperinflation happened sa mga countries such as Venezuela, Hungary, Yugoslavia, and I think Zimbabwe is the other one. So that's it. Dito tayo. But for most economists, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world, ito yung ideal nila. Creeping and mild. Alternative than price mechanism. So you have queuing, rationing coupons, favorite customers, and the black market. What is queuing? Pila. Pila para saan? Pila sa mga pagdi-distribute ng goods and services. It is a system that use waiting in line. So another good example, no, hindi lang ako nakapag-update ng picture, is the community pantry. Nakapila yung mga tao. But this one, mas common to during natural disasters. This picture is from Typhoon Sendong, the aftermath. So yung mga tao pumila para sa relief goods. So pag in-update yung picture, you have the community pantry. Next, favored customers. So this one, mga whites sila, no? They are considered as those who receive special treatments from dealers during situations where there is excess demand. So sila yung mga nakikinabang. So these are VIP customers of a steakhouse somewhere. Oh, it's a Japanese. Of a Japanese restaurant. Sorry. In New York City. So may priority sila. Pag pupunta sila doon, special treatment sila. Aside from that, we have here the UAAP game. So I think wala na namang UAAP season. This one is by La Salle Ateneo. At bakit ito yung picture natin? Because tickets for these games usually sell like pancakes. So ang ginagawa ng mga schools, for both schools, they have allotted tickets for some of their students and even alumni. Right. So let's say UAAP ticket selling. There are limited amount of tickets that they can sell on campus, no? Para iwas scalpers. Sa Ateneo, I'm not sure about Lazada. We have the raffle, wherein you get to watch the games for free. You have a ticket, they will give you a ticket, you will be able to watch the games for free. But there's a catch. If you do not attend the game, let's say sa MOA Arena or sa Araneta Coliseum, they will charge you for that ticket times 3. So let's say ticket na napanalunan mo is worth 500 pesos. If you no-show the event or the game, you must pay 1,500 pesos as a penalty. So sa Lasal, they can sell it on a first come first serve basis naman. Iba na may style nila. Kung sino una nakapila, benta na sa ticket, that's it. So, kasi sa mga games, there are scalpers. Let's say the ticket price is 500. They will sell it at around 700, 800, 1,000. Pag finals pa, minsan times 5, times 4. Huh? Pero pag nag-start na yung game, kinakabahan na yung mga scalpers. So, pinababa rin nila yung price. Minsan, worst case scenario, balik taya. Benta nila ulit 500 para lang ba pakawalan yung cost. Sayang yung ticket eh. And musical events. So I am a fan of Led Zeppelin. So they're the biggest fans in the world. Matanda na sila. So the last time they had a concert was around 1985. Then after that, they went their separate ways. In 2007, they have the quote-unquote their final concert. And demand for tickets is huge. Concert for 22 years at that time. So, kung talagang as a Led Zeppelin, 27 years. So what they did is that they had a raffle for the tickets. This one. So the price is 125 pounds. Roughly mga 5,000 pesos, 6,000. 20,000 tickets for the O2 Arena. Pero ang sumali ay 2 million. So whoever wins, so syempre malabo yung chance na ibenta yung ticket. Because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. You have to watch the band. You have to watch the band perform, which is a once in a lifetime experience. Siya, no, during the Cultural Revolution. So ano ba nakalagay dito? Sabi nga doon sa text, Chonghuaren min kong he ko liang. So this is a food ration. So this is sashi. So this is 3 yen discount sa mga bilihin, sa subsidy. They are tickets or coupons that entitle individuals to purchase a certain amount of a given product per month. So you can use this ration coupons para bumili, let's say, na grains, rice, usually rice, with a 3 yen discount. Isang gamitan lang siya. This one is from a different country naman. This one is a milk ration. So you can use it you are allotted 1 liter of milk for free once a month. Ganun siya. So again, hindi pa lang siya dito. No? Kasi yung kanina, so this one is on a different city ng China. This one is from Shanxi province. So, ito yung mga discount niya. 1 yen, renminbi, sorry. 2 renminbi, 5 renminbi, and 10 renminbi. So, of course, ito yung pinakamalaking discount. When I was young, there was a barber shop. Pag naka 10 haircuts ako, kukross nila yung kada haircut. Haircut. Pag naka 10 na ako, yung pang 11 ko ay libre. It's free. That is a form of ration coupons. And those who are patrons of Lazada and Shopee, meron din ration coupons. Let's say free delivery. Pag bumili ka ng 5,000 pesos, you get free shipping or 100 peso discount or something to that effect. So familiar tayo sa ration coupons. And last, si black market. So this one is someone repacking drugs. It's an economic activity that occurs outside government sanctioned channels. Ibig sabihin, walang control ang gobyerno sa kanila. Items at the black market may either be cheaper or more expensive than the legal market. Bakit cheaper? Probably because hindi duman sa customs. Diba? Ganyan yung mga racket ng ibang OFW, magpaparating na isang balikbayan box. No? This guys as a balikbayan box. Pero in reality, they are selling whatever products they bought sa Middle East, no? Binibenta ng mga relatives sila sa Pilipinas. So that's also a form of a black market. Yung mga PX, they're cheap. Or more expensive. Kasi mahirap makahanap ng ganong item. Sample na lang kunwari, medyo exaggerated. Let's say naghahanap ka ng elixir. Siyempre, wala ka naman makitang elixir sa mga Shopee. But let's say the black market sells an elixir or the philosopher's stone heck. Of course, it will be much, much more expensive. Or let's say limited edition items wala sa, let's say, sa normal stores, and si black market meron, then you have the prerogative, should I buy or should I let go? Ganun yung nangyayari sa black market usually. So samples are armed weapons. Sila Magdalena. Di ako makasipon lang. Yeah, sila Magdalena. Prostitution is a form of black market. Child trafficking is a form of mga pedophiles involved. It's a black market. Of course, hindi lang halata pero yung sa black market. Why? Probably yung mga empleyado nila ay walang SSS. Okay. Baka nga pa. So that one is from Taytay. And not shabu-shabu, but shabu. Methamphetamine or shabu. Drugs. Ayaw nito. So those are examples of the black. CR lang muna ako. No? Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa book style. Tapos na tayo sa bookish lesson. Now we will comply with the Department of Education standard. So yun pa rin ang title. Prices, Tools, and Techniques. So business and industry. What are those? What is a business? I think you know the answer naman, being ABM students. What is a business? Yeah. Any activity carried out with a profit motive. Whether it's doing accounting services or selling, let's say, a ball pen or manufacturing toys or cars, whatsoever. Lahat yun, lahat ng business activity must have profit motive. In short, business must have DPWH or Department of Profit na walang hanggan. Because kung yung business mo ay walang profit, then it's not DPWH. Charity ka. Charitable institution. And what is an industry? So industry refers to businesses which serve similar products and services. So let's say si Mr. Godino, he sells Panda ball pens. No? Let's say siya may-ari ng Panda ball pens. And then si Mr. Vargas may-ari ng Pilot. And then si Mr. Ombed, ano ba brand iba? Yung Standard, meron kaya tayo Standard ball pens or Lotus. So lahat sila, same industry, which is the ballpen industry. Ganon din yung mga contractors sa construction, let's say DMCI, EEI, MDC. They are in the construction industry. Or yung mga banks, BDO, Metrobank, and BPI. They are in the universal banking industry. Yeah. So industry analysis, yan lang isa sa mga kailangan natin. It is a market assessment tool used by businesses and analysts to understand the competitive advantage of an industry. Competitive dynamics. Sorry. Ano ba meron dito sa industry na to? What makes this industry profits and helps to understand a company's position relative to the other participants in the industry. So here you need a financial position, statement of financial position. Ano ba meron ka na wala itong kalaban mo? Let's say Universal Bank. Why is BDO the top universal bank compared to Metro Bank and or BPI? Yun ang industry analysis. SWOT. So ito, first, so even if you are not an ABM student, even if you're from a strand or kahit hindi ka nakapag most of the people have an idea what the weakness, opportunities, and threats. Ano ba itong mga to? What are these? Strengths are the characteristics of a business which gives it advantage. So let's say sa hotel or hospital, the location is the ultimate strength. Ito yung pinaka-prioritize mong strength. Mas maganda yung location mo compared sa kalaban mo. Therefore, you have the strength. For your opponent or your competitor, it is a weakness. Kasi its location is inferior or it serves a different target market. The weakness is characteristic of a business which makes it disadvantageous relative to competitors. So, usually sa mga internal to. Probably the marketing department of your company is inferior compared to your competitors. A good example is while I'm drinking coffee is right now marami tayong mga nakikitang 3-in-1 coffee sa market. But at that time, at one point, hindi naman ginagamit yung 3-in-1, especially Nescafe. At that time, Nescafe's aim is bumili ka ng coffee niya, bahala ka maghanap ng asukal mo, and coffee made. And then, ikaw magtimpla mag-isa mo based on your liking. That is the goal of Nescafe. So, hindi mo, ikaw ang bahala doon sa timpla mo. But, meron din siya mga ibang competitor. Let's say sila, kakalimutan ko tuloy yung pangalan. Great Taste, Cafe Puro, Cafe 45, blah, blah, blah. On the local market. And then, may biglang dumating na parang Bulalakaw, which was not even a coffee maker at that time, a coffee manufacturer. Si Popico. Popico started as a candy. Diba? XO Popico candy. Coffee flavored candy. And then, Popico is an Indonesian brand. So they had the idea. Bakit yung mga kalaban ko, ang priority lang nila is the coffee? Why not make it ready? Anyway, meron naman na tayong coffee flavored candy. Why not make coffee itself per se? Ibubuhos mo na lang yung mixture and then pour water and then you may be able to drink it. And that's what they did. Parang binomba yung mga local brands natin nung lumapag sa market. Si Popico 3-in-1. Parang atomic bomb yung effect. Hindi makakilos. Stranded, kumbaga, yung mga local coffee brands natin. Sobrang laki ng impact. Pero nowadays, if you will go to the grocery, nagkalat na parang kaputi You see Nescafe, you see Great Taste White, you see Sunmade Coffee, and there are many other cheaper brands or not recognized pero okay din man. Pero ang nagpasimula is the coffee co. And that strategy by Coffee revealed a significant weakness to all the coffee brands in the Philippines. When that happened, a lot of heads rolled. Kumbaga, maraming nasisante. Hindi sila makareact kung anong gagawin. Ano ba dapat kong gawin? Kasi ang laki ng impact ng ginawa ng Coffee. And opportunities, elements in a company's external environment that allows it to formulate and implement strategies to increase profitability. Isa rin to sa ginawa ni Coffee. It's a great case study. That's why I'm using Coffee. Yun nga, no? Nakita niyo yung opportunity. Noon kasi, hindi ka naman makapagdala na sachet ng 3-in-1. You have to bring all 3 jars ng coffee, ng sugar, and yung kung gusto mo na milk. Unlike nowadays, pwede ka magbaon ng 3. So they saw that opportunity. And lo and behold, that impact still felt today. And threats, elements in a company's external environment that could endanger the integrity and profitability of the business. So isa sa mga threats, let's say ng mga coffee manufacturers, mga commercial like Nescafe, Great Taste, Coffee, is that the new generation, the millennials and the Gen Zs, they now prefer. So nagkakaroon ng decline ng mga yung mga commercial coffee brands. Yung mga Gen X, they are the ones who prefer yung mga 3-in-1. Pero ngayon masyadong coffee connoisseurs, no, feeling ng mga tayo, millennials and Gen Z. They prefer the coffee. So it's a threat for them. Strengths and weaknesses are internal factors, whereas opportunities and threats are external factors. So you must exploit. Weakness, you must overcome. Opportunities, take advantage. And threats, you must reduce. Parang tayo lang din yung SWOT. Exploit your strengths. Use it. Magaling ka magaling ka mag-drawing. Use that strength. Weakness mo, let's say mahina ka sa math, then at least try to improve it. Hindi mo naman siya malalampasan or magiging strength. But you can at least minimize na hindi ka vulnerable. And then opportunities, you take advantage of it. Pero pag relative, let's say, CPA ka, no? CPA graduate ka, sabihin ng relative mo, ay, meron trabaho dito sa Middle East. Then take advantage of it. Take advantage of the opportunity. And threats, reduce. As much as possible, reduce that threat. Hindi mo siya matatanggal, pero you can at least bawasan yung threat niya. The sample SWOT analysis, this one is for Netflix. So those analysis, strategic questions. So ipagmamatch mo sila. It's like a matrix. Strength, versus opportunities, weakness, opportunities, strengths and threats, weakness and threats. So that's where you formulate SO strategies, WO strategies, ST strategies, and WT strategies. So we will not delve upon this one. Pinakita ko lang in those analysis. So it's about 30 minutes. Porter's 5 forces. So ito yung 5. If you will notice, if you will search sa Google, kanya-kanya silang interpretation ng Porter's 5 forces. For the Orgman book, parang circular siya. For the others, it's like, diba? Iba-iba yung and form. Pero yung contents niya are still the same. So you have these 5 formulated by Michael. And si Michael Porter, buhay pa siya. Nagkaroon siya ng +1. Pero Porter is 6 force, which is dito muna tayo. Dito muna tayo. 5 forces. So please define the following. No? I will not ask you anymore, pero so of course, consumers is also given. So you can just search if you want. Suppliers, of course, alam niyo na rin yan. Let's say, and new entrants. So those are new competitors. So A, rivalry among competing firms. Ano ba yung mga factors? So it describes the same in this so sabi ng D sila naman talagang naglalaban ng todo. Kahit cutthroat, of course, to the point na umaabot ka sa red ocean. Matirang matibay. So here are the factors. Gaano karami? The number and size of competitors. Diverse. How diverse are they of competitors? Ito, importante ito. Industry growth and industry concentration. Kamusta naman ang growth ng industry? Is it growing at around 18% per year? 30% per year? Or halos walang galawan, 1%, 2% per year? Year on year. How much concentrated is the industry? Then number 5, quality differences of products and services. Do you have a superior product or an inferior product or service? Brand loyalty. Number 6, how loyal are your customers with regards to your products and services? No? Supply and demand of product. Kamusta naman? Barriers to exit if you want to exit the industry. Is it hard? Is it difficult? And switching costs. This is the opportunity cost. If you would like to switch from one product to another, one company to another, gaano ka laki difference of the cost. So this one is your product or service cheaper or more expensive in conjunction with the quality differences? Second is the bargaining power of consumers. So can be the most important force affecting competitive advantage. Concerns the pressure an industry's customers can put on the producers' margins. So of course, in the industry by demanding a lower price or higher product quality. A good example of this is yung milk tea. Ang milk tea dati, ang presyo is around 150 pesos. When it first came out, it's very expensive. Diba? So consumers, in the long run, dumami yung mga milk tea stores. Consumers will say, baka naman tayo nyo ibaba yung presyo ng milk tea. From 150, naging 140, naging 120, 110, 100, and now meron ng mga milk tea na 50 pesos. It depends on the bargaining power of consumers. No? As they say, customer is always right. So if you don't listen to them, dalawa lang ang mangyayari sa'yo. Mawawala ka ng customers, and then you will perish. When buyer successfully obtains price discounts, it reduces a firm's top line or revenue, of course. Yan, nasa 70 pesos na lang. It affects your earnings. Kailangan mag-produce ka or makabenta ka ng more items para lang makuha mo yung dati mong revenue. It happens. So here are the factors. Number of customers or consumers, bulk buying. That's economics. Syempre, there are stores that if you buy in bulk or if you, let's say, buy gallon milk tea, mas nakakatipid sila. Differences between consumers. So, preferences to. Price sensitivity. Price. Buyer's ability to. So, this is also a factor. Ay, mahal ang milk tea. Mag-i-Starbucks na lang ako. Or, mahal ang milk tea. At the same price, let's say 500 ml, I can buy a buko shake worth the same price. Hindi mag-buko shake na lang ako. Or mag-gin bulag na lang. Buyer's information ability and again, wala kamatayan. Costs. Competition in an industry pressures that industry suppliers can exert on an industry's profit potential. So makapangyarihan din ang suppliers. It depends. Employees are also considered as suppliers because they supply their talents or their labor to the company. So syempre, may bargaining power din ng suppliers such as employees. Boss, baka pwede ka taas yung sweldo. Yeah. Or boss, bigyan niyo naman ako ng compensation and benefits. So here are the factors. Number of suppliers. Baka naman yung company mo isa lang supplier. Of course, they will have tremendous power. But if you have at least 3 to 5, that power of suppliers will be at least diluted. Diba? The supplier doesn't have the power anymore. Number 2, size of suppliers. How big is the supplier? There are some suppliers that are multinational companies, and then there are some suppliers small type or and number 3, uniqueness of each supplier's product. Probably the product that you need, no, yung isang supplier lang ang nagkikerry. You cannot find that product on other suppliers. So therefore, that supplier has a bargaining power. Focal firm's ability to substitute. Let's say, again, milk tea na lang tayo. Nag-substitute ka ng mga pearls, ng cream cheese mo, nagpalit ka ng supplier, nagpalit ka ng brand. You have that ability. Ay, hindi na ako bibili sa'yo. I'll just buy to another supplier the same item at a much cheaper cost. Or I will be given a credit terms. And number 5, again, never-ending the firm switching costs. If I switch from one supplier to another, ano mangyayari sa akin? Makatipid ba ako or lalaki yung gastusin ko? That is switching costs. Next, potential entry of new competitors. So ito lagi. Ito yung battleground niya. Lalo na sa mga online, let's say Shopee, Lazada, you don't know who your competitors are. Saan ba nakalocate tong competitor na to? So it's not like in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s na kailang mga competitor sa area na to, tayo. Now, 2020, 2021, pwede mo kalaban yun na sa ibang lugar for that product or service. Diba? Pwede mo kalaban yung seller sa Paranaque where even if you're located in Pasig or seller A is located in Valenzuela, seller B is located in Timpa. It happens. Okay. Potential entry of new competitors is the risk that potential competitors will enter an industry. Of course, you have the disadvantage. Kasi ikaw yung baguhan. Compared to your competitors na meron konting experience and meron leverage, you're still in newbie. So here are the factors, barriers to entry. Gaano ba kahirap pumasok? Economies of scale. Of course, your competitors have that advantage. You are already at a disadvantage. Number 3, customer loyalty. Again, yan yung isa sa pinakamahirap na kalaban if you're your competitor. The loyalty of the customers. Lalo na kung nakuha na nila yung satisfaction. Number 4, capital requirements. How easy is it to establish a business? And number 5, cumulative experience. Ito, so the only way for the new competitor is to, quote unquote, employees from other companies. No? Unless kakapain mo siya unti-unti. Number 6, government policies is in conjunction to the barriers. Let's say sa utilities, no? So tubig, dalawa lang sila. Manila Water and Maynila. Unless gusto maglaban ng NCR plus water district, hindi basta-basta makapasok. But let's say pwesto lang naman na registration. Apply ka lang sa LG. Access to distribution channels. Usually, your competitors, the more experienced competitors have better supply chains compared to you because you're still, as a new competitor, establishing your supply chains. mahirap yung distribution channels. They can do something to you. Iipitin ka nila. They can block you. They can do other things to make your life more difficult. And number 8, the buyer switching costs. Never forget the opportunity cost. If this buyer will switch from your product, from the previous company's product to your product, makakatipid pa siya. That will always be a main concern to the buyer. You are new, you have to prove yourself. But how will you prove yourself if your buyers are hesitant to buy your products or services? So this is the struggle of new competitors. Okay, 13 minutes. And last, potential development of substitute products. Substitutes meet the same basic customer needs as the industry's product, but in a different way. Is the idea that products or services available from outside the given industry will come close to meeting the needs of current customers. Okay. There are products that are easily replaceable. Nabanggit ko na kanina si butter. Kung palaman lang naman sa tinapay, maraming pwede pamalit kay butter. But as a baking product, no? As a baking item, medyo mahirap palitan si butter. Another is yung the construction. It's either concrete or steel or wood. Wala naman sigurong gagawa ng bahay na gawa sa lamin, no? Or sa bote ng Coke. It rarely happens. So it depends on the industry. And here are the factors. 1, the number of substitute products available. Gaano karami. Buyers' propensity to substitute. So especially sa mga other items, I don't care. I can substitute anything, any item I want. Number 3, availability of substitutes. Are there more substitutes than your products? Or is your product easily substituted by other items? Number 4, relative price performance of the substitute. Let's say your item is worth 300 pesos per kilo. What if your competitor, no, or your substitute item sells at around 200 pesos only? So minsan, diba? The consumer will say, I'll just buy the 200. Kahit hindi masarap or much better yung item ni ganitong company, I'll just buy the substitute. Perceived level of product differentiation. How different is your product compared to the substitute? Let's say your product is butter A, and then your competitor's butter. Baka naman hindi halata yung product differentiation. They're just both butter, even if your item is much superior. Kung malaki yung price differences, then there is that perceived level of product differentiation. And last but not the least, again, switching costs. Nabanggit ko na kanina, if your item is like 300 pesos per kilo, your substitute product is for 200 pesos per kilo, then what will that customer choose? Yours or the substitutes? It's his or her decision. Hindi na natin discuss to, complementary. But I'll give an example. Let's say your cell phone. You have a cellular phone. Kung phone lang siya, it's useless. Pampato lang yan. So the complementary are the apps. Diba? Yung Internet Explorer mo dyan. Google Chrome. Ano pa ba? Yung mga games. App Store. Of course, yung messaging mo. And other features of your mobile phone. Those are complementary and supporting items. So the value of Porter's five forces model can be further enhanced if one also considered the availability of complements. So, yun. So what is complements again? Ulitin ko lang. Let's say it's a cake, diba? Or no, not cake. Burgers. No? So burgers, you need bread and the patty para maging burger siya. Hindi pwedeng bread and egg. Hindi siya burger. Egg sandwich lang siya. Diba? So those are complementaries. Complements. So recap ko lang sa market structures. Ito yung isa sa mga reason why yung Porter's five forces was discussed. So yan lang siya. You have the perfect competition, holistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. So dito nagdidictate yung quantity, numbers, and the barriers. Also describes the pricing and the product itself. So yan lang siya. I will not delve any deeper